Some time ago, before Dark Souls 3 even came out, Hidetaka Miyazaki spoke very frankly about the fact that they are now not going to be doing any more Dark Souls games, that Dark Souls 3 would indeed be the end of that particular franchise. Now, at the time, of course, he didn't really touch on Bloodborne. One of the things he did touch on was the chances of a Demon's Souls remaster. Now, of course, it only came out on the PS3, which means many people, including myself, just never got the chance to play it. And of course, given that a lot of people probably have come over from, say, the Xbox 360 previous generation and all that, or people just did own PS3s like myself, I was on Xbox 360 last generation, I've never played Demon's Souls, so the demand for a Demon's Souls remaster would actually be pretty high, especially given how much Dark Souls has blown up since then. Now, at the time, his comments kind of made it seem like From Software weren't all that interested in remastering Demon's Souls for the PlayStation 4, but he has now clarified these statements basically to say, look, it's not about whether or not they're interested, it's whether or not Sony wishes for it to happen in the first place. Now, he spoke to GameSpot saying, quote, "It seems like there was a misunderstanding in a previous interview in relation to a remake or remastering of the game, so let me reiterate here. The Dark Souls series is Bandai Namco Entertainment's IP, and Demon's Souls and Bloodborne is Sony Interactive Entertainment's IP. Hence, the decision to do a remake or remastering is under their jurisdiction. For me and for From Software, I don't think we'll be involved with that happening, but it could happen through another developer." Now, I'll link the full interview with GameSpot in the description below this video, but one thing I do want to touch on before I leave you today is GameSpot asked him about his reaction to Dark Souls 3 shipping 3 million copies and breaking franchise records. And basically, he asked, how do you feel about seeing the series grow from the niche and being one of the biggest game releases of the year? And he said, quote, "As a member of the Dark Souls 3 team and as a director who worked in development from the first Dark Souls game, I couldn't be any happier. I'm sure everyone on the team feels the same too. We couldn't have accomplished this without the gamers. If I may, I'd like to use the opportunity to extend my thanks to everyone. Thank you all for playing Dark Souls 3 and the Dark Souls series." And I'm sure we'd all like to say, no, Miyazaki, thank you for Dark Souls, and thank you for Dark Souls 3 and the series in general, because those games are amazing. Now, of course, From Software are working on a new IP, but he didn't really go into any detail there. It's probably very early days, but I'm very much looking forward to seeing what exactly From Software are doing, whether or not they're going to do a completely different formula, or if they're going to take some of what they learned in Dark Souls but apply it maybe in perhaps a different way. They did a lot before the Souls series basically consumed their development, so it'd be interesting to see what they've done now that they've learned and sort of flourished a bit more as developers, thanks to Dark Souls and Bloodborne, and of course Demon's Souls, and see how they apply that in their future games. Regardless of what they make, I'm sure a lot of people, including myself, are going to be very, very interested indeed to see what they put out in the future. So, basically, there is still yet hope for a Demon's Souls remaster, and to be honest, I think if Sony is willing to put the budget behind it, I think it would be a really smart thing to do. Demon's Souls on the PS4, I think, would sell really, really well, especially if it had significant improvements and actual real work put behind not only improving it graphically, but also making sure it runs well, that sort of thing. As I said, many people, including myself, just never played it, and people might want to go back and play it, but perhaps in a way that hasn't aged quite so badly. So I think Sony would be remiss to not do this, but of course, whether or not they do it is something only time will tell, unfortunately. But as always, let me know your thoughts and opinions on everything discussed here today. I will see you next time, and thanks for watching.